Hi there and welcome job seekers. My name is Gail Porter and you're tuned into Careers TV, our, and by extension, your guide to the 21st century job market. Today's edition is our second instalment in our look at business and executive careers, in which we'll be treating you to a cross-section of the British business sphere, taking a look at 4 different companies and finding out what it's like to work for them. Now, business doesn't happen by magic. If it did, then Paul Daniels would be the President of Europe and David Blaine would be worshipped as some kind of emaciated deity. Well, some might say he already is, but we'll save that for our careers in the Nut House programme, shall we? Running a successful business in this day and age consists of an almost daily balancing act of people, products and services, relying on all of them to work in harmony, or at least according to plan, for the smooth running of the operation. Now, we only have time to look at a few aspects of the business sphere today, but the areas that we're focusing on, marketing, logistics and communications, are absolutely crucial building blocks of any enterprise. Remove one from the structure of most businesses and watch the whole lot tumble and fall. So let's learn a little bit about what our companies do before we get into the nitty-gritty of how they work and how to work for them.
Alcatellucent is a solution provider, mainly to the carrier space like BT, O2, Aircom. It also supplies to the enterprise space, and we also supply to what we call industry and public service, things like the Highways Agency or Network Rail. So we're quite a diverse organisation.
We have a multifaceted business which covers rail freight traffic in the UK, which is the core and historical business, but we also have a number of offshoot businesses which are complementary to the core. So we have engineering support group, which takes non-standard trains and standardises them to the customer's bespoke requirements. We have a European rail freight model in Eurocargo Rail, which is in France, Spain and soon to be in Belgium. And we have vehicle maintenance and vehicle upgrading capabilities in our engineering complex at Toton and Crewe.
dunnhumby specialises in helping organisations understand their customers. So normally it's companies with millions of customers, and we use the data to form insight into what customers do, how much they spend, what they buy, what they think, what they like. And then we help the organisations appeal to those consumers more directly, more relevantly.
Vodafone is a relatively young company. We're less than 25 years old, and we grew up really as a mobile operator, providing mobile services in a variety of countries, early on in the UK, but then expanding now to over 25 countries worldwide.
In the 21st century, most, if not all companies, put a serious amount of emphasis on training and CPD. Now, that's not the Criminal Prosecutions Department, but continuing professional development. Makes sense really. If you value your employees, train them up and let them loose. Most will reward you with proficiency and loyalty. So exactly what kind of training and development ops have our interviewees been given?
We have a high focus on developing our staff, and each member of our staff each year gets their key objectives, that's assessed mid-year, and then we do a final assessment at the end of the year. Part of that and part of every line manager's responsibility is to create a development plan for the individual. We then leave it up to the individual to manage their own development through the organisation. So we create the environment and we ask our employees to step up to those development plans.
Well, as part of the graduate scheme, we're essentially run by a graduate board, which is made up of an overall sponsor of the scheme and then mentors to look after each of the year groups. So I've had a mentor that's sort of followed me through my 3 years at the scheme. We meet up regularly. He's there for sort of to chat to if I'm having any problems in my job. I've gone to him for a lot of careers advice, just a general person to talk to about more commercial aspects of anything that I need to. He's been there for that. There's also generic training that you can get through Vodafone on some of your key sort of development needs, such as presentation skills, communication, time management. And I found that people are very good at helping you identify where your development needs are and pushing you towards the training that you need. There's essentially always something out there for whatever you need to do.
There is an awful lot of training for any new entrant into the company. We have different roles in different parts of our business. Some are very technical, so for those people going into a technical function, they will have very intensive technical training to make sure that they can do their job. For people like myself, who are responsible for going out and seeing clients, then those graduates will be put into client-facing teams and have the opportunity to get out as often as possible.
Now, if there's one thing that recruiters like, it's not just a fortnight in the Maldives or a handful of makeover vouchers, it's looking over a CV to discover standout, relevant work experience. Yep, that is what they want. So, is pertinent work experience a must-have accessory in the 21st century job market, or merely an added bonus?
Work experience can be important. I myself was an undergraduate for a year at a company called Northern Foods, where I got to see the FMCG industry, but it's not essential.
Work experience is obviously important if you're going for a job at middle management level or at first line supervisory level. Work experience is not important if you're coming in as a graduate or as a rotational student or something like that. When we're looking for graduates, we're looking for people who have also had what I call life experiences, because life experiences is incredibly important because you learn from those. So the work experience is not a barrier to entry, it's about where you want to come into the organisation.
Life experience is important when we select a candidate. It can be a very interesting point of difference. So academic skills and ability is important to us, but actually what makes you a well-rounded individual, which is what we're looking for, as a demonstration that you've done things in your spare time and been stretched, either taking on a leadership role, or a role where you've influenced people, or a role where you've shown commercial ability to run a business or be involved in a business, or really just to get an event off the ground. Anything that demonstrates the fact that you're clearly very passionate about something, that you have curiosity, and that you're inquisitive is really interesting to us.
According to American comedian and TV host Johnny Carson, never continue in a job you don't enjoy. If you're happy in what you're doing, you'll like yourself. You'll have inner peace. And if you have that, along with physical health, you will have had more success than you could possibly have imagined. Wise words from a very, very rich man. What do our interviewees like most about what they do?
Probably the thing I love about my job the most is the people that I work with. There's a huge variety of people who will support you through your development and who are just a good set of people to work with, which makes it a very nice environment. And also, as I've done my training towards my SEMA qualification as part of my time on the graduate scheme, I get to put that technical theory that I've learnt doing SEMA into practice in my day-to-day job, and I enjoy seeing that link between the two. It makes it feel very worthwhile.
Yeah, what I love about my job is definitely the 360 view we have on anything that is important and impacting Vodafone and the industry. You have the opportunity to, you have to be aware of what's going on. You have to watch the trends, which is something, if you're curious, you do anyways, and then you can translate that into recommendations and guidance and things that actually happen later on. So I think that is great. The other aspect that is great is you, as Vodafone is a big company and also has a good reputation in the industry and also and in other industries. When you want to find out about something, you will find a lot of people who are very happy to talk to you, be it in internet services, be it in any new area that you want to go into. You will always find people you say, we want to move into this, we are interested, would you be happy to come? And people come here, they talk with you half a day and you know so much more. So it's also a great place to learn about new stuff and sort of be curious.